back to another box opening. My name is Scott and I'm really excited for this one. This one I've been really looking forward to for quite some time. So my LGS had some, delays in their product, so I've only just got my hands on it. So I'm really excited to take some of those proxies that I've been testing with and actually replace them with the real cards. So I thought I'd do box opening of the Necron Dynasties. So I missed the original Mono Black Commander deck with Obnixilis. That was a bit before my time playing Commander. So I was really excited that they have released another mono black one. So I thought we'll go through it. And I've already done a review of the set in total, so including all the others. But I thought I'd go through, I've done a little bit of testing now and, really had some thoughts about some of the cards in general. Specifically for this deck. Okay, cool packaging. Okay, so these little inserts I've actually quite liked, and these cool. I've never really used these token things. I know that they come with like the pre-release stuff, but yeah, I've never really had to use it before. This is my first actual Commander deck. I have bought one before, but I pulled it apart straight away. This one I am kind of intending to keep as is. Maybe I might buy another one and make some adjustments, make a new deck out of some of the commanders in there. So that's really cool. Little information sheet. That's really nice. This is some cool lore. I like it. I like it. Because yeah, I am a Warhammer fan, but I am a Warhammer Fantasy fan, or Age of Sigmar now. So 40k, not really, I would say my appeal, but I, I still like the lore. It's really made me research a lot of lore. It's actually made me get back into painting some of my Age of Sigmar miniatures, which has been really cool. Cool deck box, but I have my own deck boxes, so I don't need that. Yeah, so really enjoyed getting back into my miniatures, but yeah, Age of Sigmar, not 140k. So, but I guess for Games Workshop, I don't think they really care. Okay, so let's see. So I thought I'd go through the deck. Little card at the end. These tokens, all Necrons. I love it. This is actually really cool art. And then of course the thicker Commander one. That's kind of this etched look, which I really liked. Okay, Zaric the Silent King. During my testing, this pretty much has come out to be, a really poor card. Only really because you have to have hit a creature card or vehicle from the cards that you've milled in order to get them back, which, out of 3 can be a few whiffs. So I've really found that a 4-mana 3/4 flying that whiffs. Yes, it puts cards in my graveyard, but I mean, it's just not really doing much. So this one I've kind of gotten rid of. Imatech the Stormlord. This one's got the most of my imagination. I really like Tormod, the Desecrator. And this is just an even better one. Well, it's slightly different, I guess. It doesn't come in tapped, which is great. But essentially, your artifacts are leaving. You're creating 2 tokens. It's really great for Nim's Death Mantle. I found when I've been brewing this, that's kind of been my go-to win condition. Because it's an artifact that I can also recur because I have a lot of artifact recursion. But in saying that, I really have struggled building this deck. I find that it's one of those decks that it requires a lot of hoops in order to get going. And sure, you can get there eventually, but you probably already lost the game. But it's been fun. This one's been fun to brew, and it's been quite hard, but I've enjoyed it. I think that one's the one that will capture my imagination most. Flayed one, I've actually really liked this. 4/1 lifelink, so a little bit of life, and it mills 3. It's actually nice, 3 mana. Hexmark Destroyer, not really interested in this one. Doesn't really do anything. Plasmancer, another one, just gets you a swamp, not really interested. What is it, Psychomancer? This one's actually been good. You know, this one I've been putting in decks. It's been quite nice. Zaric Immortal, not interested. Scorpek Destroyer, another one, not interested. You know, Death Touch, First Strike, kind of nice, yeah, sure, but other than that, I mean, that's not really what you're trying to do in Commander. Triarch Praetorian, really nice, but I haven't been able to consistently make it like come back from the graveyard. I don't really want to pay this 5 mana unearth cost, so not particularly interested. Night Scythe, not interested. Defile, staple, love this card, I'll put it in all my decks. Dread Return, it's expensive, I guess, and sacrificing 3 creatures, like with Imotech, it can, you know, that stuff can kind of be done, but it's been a nice card. Chronoplane, nice card. Hedron Archive, sure. Mask of Memory, nice card, love the art. Soul Ring, pretty good. Baron Moor, not interested. Mirrored Landscape, I play that. Reliquary Tower, I'll play. Darkness reprint, very cool. I do love a Darkness. It's a bit of a pet, you know, just 1 mana, just leave it open, bam, Darkness. Oh, so good. Go for the Throat, playable. Arcane Signet, decent. Commander's Fear, it's been okay, because with Imotech, I've wanted to get artifacts into the graveyard, and this one's one that can get itself into the graveyard, but 3 mana Mana Rock, you know, I'm much more down on the 2 mana Mana Rocks. Love the art. Thought Vessel, great. Unstable Obelisk, not really playable. Wayfarer's Bauble, very cool art, very cool art. Desert of Glorified, not really interested. Polluted Mire, not interested. Volta Whispers, it's nice. And Rakia the Traveler, this one I haven't done really a lot of brewing. I think that it hasn't really opened up any interesting avenues for me. You know, I think of like just putting a Mycosynth Lattice down with Khan or something like that, or Bolas's Citadel. You know, it's not really imaginative, so I haven't really thought around it. Biotransference, I've really loved. I have actually really loved this. I'm playing an artifact deck, but there are some things that are not artifacts, like you know, I was playing like Sir Conrad and things like that in Imotech, so it's been nice to have it make those an artifact, and getting those tokens actually been quite nice. I liked it. Chronomancer, this one it's just like an okay card in my kind of testing. The 1 mana tap, you know, it is a cheap unearth cost, which is nice, but ultimately I haven't had a lot of like loose artifacts, you know. Spine of Ishneer was a nice one that I was able to sacrifice, and it's like, okay, sure, cool. Cryptek, this one I think is a bit too expensive. It's 4 mana and then I have to tap and 2. It's nice to have on the battlefield. I think it's okay in the precon, but other than that, Illuminated Ceras, I've actually really liked this card. I love the art. I've liked it, but there are cards like this already, and I'm not really playing those, so I need to work out, okay, what kind of deck wants these kind of effects. This Locust Heavy Destroyer, not really interested. It's too expensive, and the Unearthed is really expensive as well. Lichguard, I think this is for some other deck, for like a, you know, Legendaries Matters deck. I do also love the art on this one. Necron Deathmark, I've actually liked. It's been an interesting card. I think outside of this kind of precon or all these commanders, probably not. But I have enjoyed it. Necron Overlord, this one I was much higher on originally, and I think it's good for the precon, like with stall boards and stuff like that. But ultimately, you know, paying X is just too expensive. Out of the Tombs, this one's been a really interesting card. This is like the Phyrexian arena of this deck. It is really good the earlier you put it down. Turn 8 and you've got this, it's actually going to be really bad. But I've really enjoyed it. it really ramps up quickly, but it's one of those you have to have it early. Royal Warden, another one that I was a bit higher on. I thought the unearth cost was decent enough, but really, because they come in tapped, not too interested. Shrouded Nightbringer, not interested. It has the cards cast clause. I think maybe in another deck, what's the Golgari Partners that's all about halving people's lives, something like that maybe, but even then it's pretty expensive. Shard of the Void Dragon, I love this card. Not a good card, but it's so cool. It's like such a big beater, annihilating everyone. It can get counters, whatever. I wish it had just something else other than this, maybe this artifact trigger, like maybe it was like annihilate as it enters and attacks. Oh, so good. Anyway, love the art. Scorpec Lord, artifacts, creatures give menace. My Imatech deck kind of ended up not being like a very aggressive deck. It was kind of like sacrificing those tokens that it's making, so this ended up not being that good, but I think it could make it in some other deck. Technomancer has been very good. I've actually really liked this. 7 mana, 5/1, and you just return things. I've actually liked it. Their Name is Death. It's good in this kind of deck. Outside that, probably not. The Numbers Legion, people were hyped on this, I don't know why, and it has just not really been that good. Sure, I can mill it, but whatever. Two Blade, not interested. Unearthed is too expensive. It is too expensive. Traz and the Infinite, this one I've also been brewing around, but then as I've realized that there is just not a lot of creativity with this one. It's a lot of combos, and those combos are kind of all the same. I played some Necrotic Ooze combo decks, so you know it's not really that different. A Buried Alive kind of wins the game, so if I can figure out some way of being able to play this, but I think this would be quite repetitive to play as I'm kind of testing it out. It's just like, oof, it's just kind of the same thing over and over, so it didn't really capture me, but very strong card, very cool. Triarch Stalker, it's a cool card, it's interesting, but it's a little bit too expensive, I think. The War in Heaven, this one was really expensive, super slow. Yeah, I wasn't a particular fan. Canoptech Scarab Swarm, this one I was low on, and I'm kind of medium on. I think if you want to target yourself, this is good. This is cool. You know, but outside of that, probably not, right? So you need to be a deck that you want to target yourself. Maybe in a Sir Conrad deck, this might be pretty cool. But even then, you're only getting one trigger. Yeah, I don't know. It's a cool card, cool card. Canoptech Spider, I really like this card. Really like this card. It's very expensive though. 5 mana. It's just a little bit too expensive, but so cool. Whenever a non-token artifact comes in, you draw a card. Oh, so good. Canoptech Tomb Sentinel. I mean, it's a 4/3, does nothing unless it comes from the graveyard, and Unearth is pretty expensive, so cool card, not really interested. Canoptech Wraith, it hasn't really done much. Convergence of Dominion, too expensive. 3 mana and then 3 mana to mill. I think it might be nice in like the Grixis Unearth Commander, maybe. But yeah, it hasn't been really interesting. Cryptothrone, this is a cool card. Cool card. I mean, it really only works in this deck. But I've been putting it in my kind of Necron brews, so that's good. Ghost Arc, sure, not really interested. Necron Monolith, this is like one of the first things I take out. It's so expensive, it barely mills anything. You probably won't even get a creature, and then it's just 7/7 indestructible flying, whatever. Resurrection Orb, this one I was low on. I think I'm medium on it. This needs to be tested more. 4 mana is very expensive to equip. but if it is, it's pretty decent. There is a lot of exile effects though. I've liked it. I'm okay on it. I'm gonna try it in some decks. Scepter of the Eternal Glory. This one I've actually quite liked as well. Hedron Archive is like an okay card, and I think this one is just an okay card as well. I have put this in one of my brews coming up, and it's not a Necron one. So I think in Mono Blake it can fit. It can have a role. Yeah, it's been decent. You know, the mana fixing for this has been nice. It's like, it's great to have 4 swamps and then you can then tap for another 3 black mana. It's great, rather than say Thran Dynamo, and where you got the colorless and you kind of have to mix it up. So yeah, Doom Fortress has been interesting. I need to test this one more and figure out what kind of decks I want to have this, but I think this can be playable. It is only sorcery speed, so it's a bit different to Port of Carfell. Yep. Where that one can be instant speed, but it's 1 extra and it's 2 colors. Beacon of Unrest, yeah, not really a card I play too much. Living Death, fantastic. Mutilate. Wonder why these reprints were further up. Anyway, Mutilate. Staple, play this all the time. Cage Sun, I usually am not playing this anymore unless it's a big mana deck, just because it's so expensive. But think something like, you know, Rakia, where you can just plop this down onto 6 is nice. Endless Atlas, don't really play. Gilded Lotus, I also don't play. I think it's quite big. Again, it's maybe big mana, but even then, I'd go for Cage Sun over this. Mystic Forge, very good in artifacts decks. Sculpting Seal, I've liked this one, but I have taken it out of some of my brews here because I just don't think it does enough. And then all the cool swamps. So yeah, so that's just the box unopening. Just with, I guess, the commanders. Zaric, not interested. Imhotep, I think, is the most interesting, and I think the other two kind of just maybe might, well, the combo one, Trazen probably doesn't fit in the 99, but Anarchy could probably fit in the 99 of some decks. The problem is this is an attack trigger. So yeah, I think Imhotep's the only interesting one. But I think this deck is pretty interesting out of the box. The one thing I haven't tested is actually playing this out of the box. I was kind of waiting to get the cards. So yeah, so I'm going to sleeve this up and actually start playing with this one. I'm super excited. All right, thanks for watching.